Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here at Bish's RV in Ludington, Michigan on a just rainy, miserable day. But short of lightning, I'm not going to let a little weather stop me because I found myself a cool, fun family camper back here. Something I could see my family going out and having a good time in. That's the Surveyor Legend 276 Bunkhouse right here. It's a super slide bunkhouse. It has a direct entry bathroom door, a private front bedroom, and those are like super common qualities. So I'm all jazzed up about this one because they did a couple things a little bit differently. It's carpetless, which is nice. It's got a nice tall ceiling. It has a great bunkhouse cargo door sort of situation. So if you want to be able to load in like extra cargo or you know, folding e-bikes or small kids bikes or something like that, you could bring that stuff with you. Not to mention the travel access on this one is absolutely chef's kiss fantastic. But the fact that they did something a little bit different with the entertainment center. Almost anybody who builds a layout like this, if you sit down at the sofa or in the dinette, the TV is going to be a 90-degree neck crank to the left entertainment. But they flip-flopped a little bit of things around so that the TV is basically above the kitchen straight across from the sofa. So that for the most part, especially on an ugly, dreary, nasty, rainy day like today, if you're dumb enough to be out here like I am anyway, you know, you can sit inside where it's nice, where it's warm and dry, and you can enjoy a little bit of entertainment and get through an otherwise miserable afternoon. You know, I would certainly, you know, play some family games, some Monopoly or something like that, but after the board game flipped and ended up on the table, I might want to unwind with a little bit of TV, and this camper really spoke to me for that.
Now, one of the first things that I want to hit on in here is the fact that my head, at over 6 foot tall, is not going to hit on anything. Because one of the cool things surveyors do is they build these with a 7 foot tall ceiling. So, regular returning viewer, member of the RV Nerd Herd, Mr. Bulldozer, you keep asking for RVs that are going to be built not for the vertically challenged. Well, my friend, perhaps this one's for you. Because that is one of those exceptional defining qualities on this camper for me right here. The fact that it has that taller ceiling, because it's like a 7 foot ceiling. It's still a full 8 foot wide body, has a super slide and a private front bedroom, and it's still only about 5,900 pounds dry weight. I think this has a cargo capacity of about 1,700 pounds, which isn't massive. It's not the biggest cargo capacity to write home about, but it does seem to be better than a lot of RVs nowadays that I've seen this size with like an 1,100 pound cargo rating. You know, it's like campable. You know what I mean? It's reasonable. You see how it's ventless flooring? It's got a completely carpetless slide floor, and what they're doing with the sofa is very interesting on this one. We'll see that in more detail. But what we're looking at right here is the default setup with the trifold sleeper sofa. There is also a theater seat that you can swaption in there if you are so inclined. All the countertops in this, whether it's that dining table or even this little elevated breakfast bar over here, they're all sealed edge pressed membrane, which I do enjoy. And again, I always want to be totally clear about stuff. Your slide side windows open for airflow. The giant windows that we're looking at do not. Just, you know, again, for total complete clarity on this one right here. Now, you might notice how the colors are kind of changing here. That's based on the way that, you know, modern cameras try to filter light and they try to figure out what is the most, you know, attractive looking color, basically. So, sorry if that's a little... What is going on? Wasn't the ice cream man. I got all excited. I'm like, what is the ice cream man doing out here on a rainy day? It was my phone. I keep my phone on silent and vibrate religiously. It must have got bumped in my pocket. I literally didn't even know what my own phone sounded like and thought it was the ice cream man. Which one makes me feel dumb, and two, leaves me disappointed because I was really wanting like a little chocolate eclair bar. Anyway, sorry, where was I at? Not the ice cream man, although David Lee Roth would approve. What we have up top here, little bright accent light, and they're not part of the Jedi Blue Neon Club over here. Although some people enjoy the Labatt Blue light. That's cool. That's cool. I like what they've done here. The more that I've looked at surveyors, the more that I'm kind of liking. Although I've yet to find an RV that I'm like, ooh, this is 100% perfect. But overall, I could, like I said, I could totally see my personal household, me, my wife, my child. I could see the three of us in this having a pretty good time over here. Again, I like that tall ceiling. And another thing, while we're down here and we're looking on top of things, that air conditioner, that is a standard 15,000 BTU air. This RV is available with 50 amp service. It is also available with a second air conditioner if you are so inclined. That will actually be located up in the bedroom. And this right here is where I was saying they did the entertainment a little bit differently. They put it straight across from the sofa, across from the slide out, so that if you are stuck inside on a rainy day, like today, you actually have a really nice place to just bypass a little time. I've made no secret about the fact I am not in love with this recent trend of getting rid of all the windows in the entry doors, especially on this floor plan, which really struggles for entry door window coverage. And you might notice it's got like this very tall elevated breakfast bar, but like all this open space. Well, thankfully, they give you something to fill up that space. They actually give you two of them, those handy little butt-padded breakfast bar stools right there, which suddenly makes the breakfast bar, to me, make a lot more sense. Now, the question, I think some people are going to say, yeah, but if somebody's sitting at the bar, aren't they sitting directly in front of you? Well, I don't know. What do you think? I'm pretty big. I'm tall. I'm all wet and feeling chubby. I don't feel like a handsome animal today, but even despite my size, I don't really feel like I'm in the way. Now, if somebody's over here going, yeah, that's going to be annoying, certainly. But just to complete the visual, if I'm a little bit closer to you, am I going to skew your field of vision? And no, I don't really think so. And what's nice is this is long enough that I think you can actually have two adults sitting here and not elbow fighting one another and not really blocking things out. Overall, I think this is a success. What is your take? So let me know. Love it or leave it. How do you take that one right there? Now, we're going to get all the kitchen stuff opened up in just a minute. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. The trick is this refrigerator door does not want to keep itself open the way the RV's parked currently. So we're going to utilize the little bit of curtain magic here, basically, to do that. That is a 10 point something or other cubic foot 12 volt DC compressor fridge right there. I do believe there's I think an 8 cubic foot gas electric option for this, if that's what you would prefer. I do like the extra outlets mounted like on the face of that breakfast bar, because one of the problems that a lot of laminated lightweights have is they do not have a good place for appliances in the kitchen, because the power outlets are almost always located under some kind of overhead cabinet. And you don't have that here as a result. You actually have an easy reach appliance outlet set, as it were. Now, looking around over here, you may have noticed that's that trifold sleeper sofa, but you do also have the ability to put a theater seat in, and I'd love to know, which way would you go on this one? Would you go hide-a-bed for the extra sleeping, or would you go theater seat for that kind of rainy day sanity escape space there? Let me know. Now, they do an interesting thing over here on the dinette, and I haven't decided if I like it or not. So I'd love it if you guys chimed in on this, or if there's some actual Surveyor owners out there, even better, let us know your personal experience with what they call their Easy Lift dinette storage system. So the decking that you're sitting on under those cushions, that has a gas strut to lift up to make it for easier access, you know? But you still kind of have to take the cushions off. So I'm not sure what it actually has accomplished as a result. But if someone who's an actual surveyor owner, if you can chime in and say, no, it's actually really handy and useful, please do. That would be great. Now, I looked for, based on your request, by the way, keep those requests coming, a sticker trying to tell me how much these bunks are rated for, and I don't see one here. That makes me think this is probably a pretty industry standard 300-pound rated bunk system. I do like, it's kind of like an open air ladder wall, but what's interesting is the ladder itself is actually helping support the beds. But it makes the RV look and feel bigger because you can still see those double breeze windows right there. But this is that cool cargo bunk situation that really makes this floor plan work for me, especially because anytime I see these rear bunk doors, I'm like, shut up and take my money. But they did something here I really like. Well, first of all, it is deadbolting, by the way, for security, but it has a gas strut. So that is also easy lift. And you may notice how both bunks have some USB plugs. Another one of those handy rainy day survival things. And on a day like today, I know I would certainly be appreciating that. Now, over here in the bathroom, we have a porcelain foot flush stool and some very nice space.
This is a bathroom that is exceptionally fluffy, friendly, and very nice if you're a little bit taller. Pardon my coat and my umbrella. I've just got those hanging up out of the way. Although the coat is doing a good job of letting us know that we do have some towel hangers up there. I prefer towel rods, personally, but the triple hanger does, I suppose, let you have more towels drying out at the same time. And with that 7-foot ceiling, we have awesome headroom in this thing, so you're not going to feel like your scalp is burning up in that little skylight. There's no windows in the doors, as we talked about, but again, when you're sitting right here in all of your glory, well, sometimes it is nice not to make direct eye contact with the neighbors, unless you wanted to, and then I suppose you could just flip that deadbolt and kick the door open and be like, "Hey, Ted, how you doing there, brother?" And chances are they will vacate the premise very quickly. Then you have an open campsite next to you to play. And let's say you were getting out of this nice extra tall shower. That is a full medicine cabinet, by the way, not just a mirror glued against the wall. And they went with a bigger sink. That does mean less countertop space in this bathroom. But I'll get up here in just a second. I want to kind of just complete the visual first. There's enough room. I think if you had like a little toothbrush organizer, there'd be just enough room for a little family bunkhouse weekend over here. That's my 2 cents. Now, it's a little bit interesting. Your tank monitor and like your water pump and water heater controls are actually in here in the bathroom. Which, I mean, the placement of that doesn't not make sense. It's just unusual that you don't see all of those things all mixed together. Now, the lights are flickering a little bit. I think my battery box is just about to die out, so I'm probably going to have to go swap that out real quick here. It's really crazy how the difference in interior lighting, like I said, will affect the color that you see on this RV right here. I also thought, I don't know, maybe you'd like to see a good look at the kitchen without the cabinets all blown apart in flyby mode. Now, flipping to the other side of that privacy wall right there, up here in the bedroom, if, you just got out of bed, this might be what you see here. That is a sliding privacy door. And notice they're using something that's going to hold up a little bit longer term versus just like the plastic straps. Over time, it's not if, but when the plastic strap and it will eventually just fail, Simple little magnet catch right there is kind of nice, too. If you're, you want a private bedroom, you want to make sure that door stays shut. Although, I don't know if it's been rated and tested against the aggressive folding of laundry, so use at your own risk. Now, we are up here in Michigan today, so 30 amp service and a single 15,000 BTU air conditioner, plenty for this kind of climate. But I know some friends down south and out west, you might want that 50 amp service, which will prep the RV for a second air, and you can even get a second air installed straight from the factory, which is kind of cool, if you will. Yes, see what I did there? Anyway, how do you feel about this top shelf up here? It seems like some brands either give us cabinet doors or they give us an open shelf. They kind of split the difference here a little bit, I think, with a shelf, but with the cargo netting, you can keep the stuff in place, and you can always pull that netting down if you don't prefer that. I think that if you had some like little basket organizers or folded clothes, I think that would be good enough up there. And again, it is lightweight. You see how you have the individual hanging closets on either side, and that is a true queen bed. Actually, give me just a moment. Let me get you this guy open here. Normally, I don't open a lot of storage on camera, but I like that. I like having that big drawer right there. Now, I'm flying blind, and I'm doing this camera work left-handed, which I don't normally do, so hopefully this is turning out well. Let me get that back out of the way. Hopefully that went good. I don't know. Down below, household and USB plugs, and that's great. But what's really interesting is actually what's happening over here in the little kind of hidden headboard pocket area. Because notice how those hanging wardrobe towers don't go all the way up to the nose. Well, that stand right there, as far as I can tell, should be plenty sized. Plenty sized? I don't know, plenty enough size for like a CPAP machine. But you also see it's just got a handy little drink holder. But you see there's that little finger pull tab on the left as well. Or the right, as is the case from my current point of view. Anyway, a CPAP size shelf isn't going to do you any good if you don't have a way to actually power the unit. And you're thinking, what, I have to try to string a cord all the way from the front of the stand? And no, you don't. Because there's actually, it's like a hidden pocket of storage with a household outlet down there. Now, there's not USB plugs in there, but you're just, your household plug to USB adapter away from turning this maybe into a little phone charge stand. Or maybe you like a little tabletop fan kind of blowing a little breeze across your face or something like that right here. I like this. I like the opportunities and the options. Personally, I can't see any way this doesn't benefit anyone who camps in this camper somehow. And in case you're curious, yes, there is storage below the bed, kind of like the dinette. It's easy lift, although to me this does make admittedly more sense. And it's totally separated from the inside and outside, which I think is great. That's a box like for the microwave, by the way. They throw some extra stuff in that. I left that down in here just so you could kind of see with a little bit of simulated cargo what that looks like. And when we go outside, we're gonna peek at the little camp kitchen. That is a little removable, I don't know, dish basin kind of simulated sink thing that goes with that camp kitchen outside. Again, I just kind of want to fill the space up so you can see what it looked like with some stuff in it. And I always like to close the slides up, show you this thing in road mode, you know? There's some people who like, man, if I can't make a travel stop with this camper, it just doesn't work for me. So I like to go the extra mile to kind of showcase that for you here. And, you know, if you appreciate that, hit that little subscribe button. But I was really worried with the big peninsula countertop kind of overlapping with the dinette a little bit. I was like, ooh, that's going to be tight. And to be fair, it is pretty tight right there. But despite the fact that I'm a little bit thicker in the midsection with my Midwestern dad bod, I've got chicken legs and I'm tall. So I can do a sideways travel trailer two-step and I can butt scoot boogie my way right past this thing right here. And for me, it was fine. Now, results may vary depending on your physical stature and characteristics. But the thing to remember here is, in a sense, you have a way in with that cargo door back there. But more than that, remember, it's a dual entry door floor plan. So even if you are a little bit bigger, if you're a little bit fluffier or something like that, you don't have to do the butt scoot boogie method. It might mean that you have to slide outside the trailer or hop in the back door if you wanted to get up here and be able to get to your kitchen facilities, which you notice with the way that they have all their drawers and everything positioned are fully travel accessible. I said the road mode in this one's potentially great. It might mean, though, because they put the bigger countertop in that breakfast bar, that you might have to slide back outside and use the front door to get up to the master bed. So again, results may vary, and I'd be curious to know, do you consider this one Cracker Barrel capable or not? Boy, I am earning my keep today. It's a beautiful day for a duck. What are we looking at here, though? Never mind all that. This is a standard body Surveyor. Some of the Surveyors are narrow body. This is a full 8-foot wide body. Then you figure this has about a 3-foot deep super slide. Sometimes people want to know how wide is it in total when it's opened up. With the body and the slide, that's about 11 feet. Plus, you got to factor about another 2 foot or so for the stable steps that stick off the side of this. So, in depending on how technical you want to get, you're about, I don't know what, 13 foot wide or something like that. Now, the walls of this RV, this is an Asdel using brand, and you might notice how they're not using a full-on nose cap like a lot of brands. A 3/4 nose cap looks really cool, but it doesn't actually typically provide any significant physical benefits to the RV. It adds weight and it adds cost. And you might have noticed this thing's only about 5,900 pounds dry weight with a super slide. That is crazy, stupid lightweight. That's part of that is the Asdel, part of it is the lack of a nose cap, but a lot of it is the fact that this has a heavy use of laminated aluminum skeleton, helping keep that weight down in check. This reminds me a lot of an Apex in that it's one of the few, I think, what I call true lightweights out there. Now, if I see something, I say something, I want to acknowledge this and get this out of the way. Your eyes are not deceiving you. That tongue jack it is bucking fusted. It's not good. That is our fault, though. That is not Surveyor's fault. Evidently, I asked about that, and the team here locally informed me as we were moving the RVs around the lot. The tractor bumped down into a little divot pothole, which unfortunately caused that tongue jack to skid and bend, and we are getting that replaced on our dime, not on yours, thankfully. Now, down below here, you do have an enclosed heated underbelly. And if you need a little bit more protection than that, you can also option on 12-volt tank heater pads onto these. That's something you can get on any Surveyor model, by the way. You may notice this is, they're using like a Kia-like system here. And pardon me, I'm going to be very brief so I don't cause just a flood of water to get inside this thing. But I wanted you to get to see that big front storage compartment with the aluminum skeleton work in there. And you may have noticed that little griddle inside there. Keep that in the back of the old memory banks because Surveyor does something a little bit different with their camp kitchens. I'm curious to know what you think about it, if you think it's awesome, if you think it sucks. I don't take offense to it either way. I appreciate, by the way, folks, when you share your genuine feelings with me, because that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to give you all the information I can so you can make a good, educated decision. Now, pardon me as I dodge some mud puddles around here. Figures. The day that I travel to my sister's store here in Michigan, it's raining like a sieve. For folks a little bit newer to the RV industry, though, if you haven't been around camping for a while, you may not realize that even if a slide doesn't say it's slide awning prepped, it can probably still accept a slide awning. That's not one of those things that without it, you're up a creek without a paddle. Now you look at this and you're like, why did they make this just a small little pocket? Why didn't they open that up all the way inside the RV? And in a way, they did, because if you recall, this is one of those handy cargo bunkhouse models with that rear door. By the way, these doors are anti-slam, which is really nice. So if we come in here, you see that you do have storage all the way through. And again, it extends pretty far up in there, although you got to keep in mind, I have the slide open currently. And speaking of open, I have these doors open, and I'm trying to do that to give you a look here, but I definitely want to minimize the exposure on this camper. There we go. Thankfully, it's not really raining right now, or else I wouldn't have even done that much right there. We're backup camera ready, but frankly, pretty much any RV is backup camera ready. And even those that are not, by the way, if you're looking at, say, like an older used RV that is not backup camera prepped specifically, they make camera kits that basically will utilize the power from one of those marker lights to operate the camera, which is basically how those things work anyway. Now, this is kind of a love-hate thing right here. There's a decently sized awning on this. I like that it extends nicely past the front door so that on a day like today, if you're opening that front door and hopping in and out just to really utilize every inch of space that you can on the campsite, like if it's just a light drizzly day, from the main entry door, you're not getting spritzed in the face. But that bathroom direct entry door, yeah, if you go in and out of that one, you're going to get wet. But on a rainy day, are you really using that one as much? So I think if they were going to leave one door unprotected, they made the right call. Now, I'm not usually a fan of doors without windows in them. I'd like to see maybe a frosty glass window here, but at the same time, being that it's a bathroom to maintain privacy, that doesn't really offend me too awful much. So I'm kind of okay with that. Now, remember that griddle that we talked about? This is where I said log that in your memory banks, because they do a little bit different camp kitchen here. If we open that thing up with a little bit of movie magic, you're not really seeing a griddle. You're not really seeing a sink or anything like that. What Surveyor does is they have that free-floating griddle, which you can slot into that little extension leaf. And then they have just the little dog dish that can slot into that like open hole that you saw in that extended countertop area right there. And for water, it does have a cold water sprayer port here. Now, it's not a hot cold sink. It's not a sink with a real drain into a holding tank. I'm not trying to oversell what it is or what it is not. At the same time, though, it is very minimal. It occupies a very small amount of space. And what if you're a person who's like, I don't care about an outside camp kitchen? Well, how about the fact that it basically has a neat little outside fridge, which is often very useful, and it does have essentially a built-in exterior little countertop or ledge. Again, that is kind of useful. And compared to the little Surveyors, one of the nice things on these bigger models is the fact that they, actually come with a ladder, so you can get up here to that walkable roof. That's something that obviously a lot of trailers still are not doing, but I'm glad to see it done here. While we're up top, also remember, we have that larger 15,000 BTU air conditioner standard on these, so you don't have to worry about upgrading. And I tell you what, guys, it is raining like crazy, and I'm still out here making footage for you. If you appreciate that kind of effort, even if this isn't the right trailer for you, hit that like button if you're a returning subscriber, regular member of the RV Nerd Herd. And if this is your first time with us, hit that subscribe button and know that, rain or shine, I'm going to be out here like the postal delivery service bringing you this footage. Uncle Josh always delivers. Anyway, this is a PVC roof membrane also, which is cool because the skin itself requires really no specific upkeep. You can just kind of clean it with dish soap. Now, what I didn't say is this is a maintenance-free roof because you still have seals that you need to maintain. And really, you should be up here kind of at least eyeballing stuff about every 90 days so that if you, you see a little spot that needs like a little touch-up bead, you can jump on that right away. And what we're looking at right here, this always has roof solar prep, but there is a simple battery tending solar package that you can get optioned onto this from the factory, and where that's nice, you know, it'll give you a little extended dry camping time with the 12-volt fridge, certainly. But where I really like it is when it's tending the battery while the RV's in storage. So when you, you know, when it's been, say like this was a storage lot, you know, you got a whole bunch of trailers all parked close together like this, and you can't get out there and you can't like hook a battery tender up to it every single day. Well, you don't have to, because the solar package is going to make sure that battery is up and running. So when you go to hit that tongue jack or the slide or whatever, it's going to work. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go dry off. And again, if you appreciate the effort here today, hit that subscribe button if you're new with us. And no, like I said, short of lightning, I'm going to be out here. I'm going to be getting you footage, and we're going to be working for you at Bish's RV. This one's located in Ludington. We've got surveyors in other locations, though. Check the link in the video description for pricing and availability to see where we have them and what we're asking at any given day. And short of that, folks, thank you as always for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.